Today we're doing lesson 8.3, ways to look at quadrilaterals. How many bricks have two pairs of parallel sides? Lily?
9.
Agree or disagree? How many do you think, Wyatt?
6.
Remington?
18.
Josiah?
5.
How about all of them? Don't all bricks have multiple or have two pairs of parallel sides? Can you imagine building a brick wall if they weren't parallel? You'd be having bricks going this way, that way. Okay, that would be an interesting brick wall. So it's you can't see every side of every brick. So, but all of them is the answer on this one. All the bricks have two pairs of parallel sides. The top is parallel to the bottom and the left is parallel to the right. All right, here we go, quadrilateral hunt. So what we're gonna do is I have put some figures or some quadrilaterals up here on the board, and I'm going to have you, I'm going to call on you, and you're going to tell me which of these figures matches the attribute. So for example, the first one says no right angles. When you look at these figures, which one or ones have no right angles? Brantley, give me one. A rhombus has no, these rhombus have no right angles, okay? Or they're not required to have right angles. Lila, what's another figure with no right angles? Trapezoid. Yep, trapezoids don't have right angles. You can see there. And the other thing that on the board that does not have right angles would be what, Braden?
Parallelogram.
Yep, parallelogram. Okay, so I want you guys to write in this box. We're going to write A for trapezoid, B for rhombus, and D for parallelogram. Okay, down at the bottom of this page, we're going to make a little key so that we don't have to write the entire name of the shape every time, and we can just write the letters, because this is just on my board, so you got to have it on your paper as well. So at the bottom, this is what I want you to do. At the very bottom, I want you to write A is a trapezoid, and write neatly so you can read it. B is a rhombus. C is a square. D is a parallelogram. And E is a rectangle. So if we get that key at the bottom, then we don't have to write the entire word and up at the top. Look at your book when you're writing. You can't be neat if you're looking at the TV. All right, so the next thing that they want us to look at, and if you didn't finish that, I've got the same letters right here. B says the attribute is one pair of parallel sides. Which of these figures has one pair of parallel sides? Remington?
A trapezoid.
A trapezoid. Trapezoid is the only one that has only one pair of parallel sides. It's a little tricky because are they saying exactly one pair or are they saying at least one pair? So we're going to, let's write exactly above that so we know that the figure that has only one pair of parallel sides is a trapezoid. Okay. For C, which of these figures do you see have a pair of perpendicular sides? Kerrigan?
Rectangle.
A rectangle has perpendicular sides, that's correct.
Okay.
Nope, sit down, Kerrigan, on your sticky note. It's just habit, I know. And Josiah.
E.
We got E, a rectangle already.
Oh, C.
C. All right, so the ones that have perpendicular sides, remember perpendicular are sides that match up in making a right angle, okay? So the only two figures up there that have right angles are squares and rectangles. So C and E. Okay, which of these figures has the same length for all of its sides? Vivian, give me one of them.
A square.
A square. And Willow, give me the other one. Which other figure has all four equal length sides?
Rhombus.
A rhombus, yes. So B and C have the same length for all sides. Next we're going to look for a quadrilateral that all four angles are the same size. Armani?
So, I have a question for C.
Uh-huh.
Why do they make the boxes on C bigger and then the other ones are small?
Because it was a longer description and it carried down a row. Lily? Same size for all angles.
Square.
Square has the same size for all angles. We're going to write C for square, and there's one more figure that has the same size angles all the way through. Athena?
Rhombus.
No. Not a rhombus, because see how the rhombus, Athena, how these are the acute angles, and these are big wide obtuse angles. So it wouldn't be the same in all four. Paisley?
Parallelogram.
Nope. All four angles are the exact same size.
Rectangle.
Rectangle.
Dang it.
They're all four right angles. So a square is C and a rectangle is E. Does that make sense? Okay. The same length for only two sides. So this figure has two sides that are the same length, and those are the only two sides that it has that are the same length. Lily?
Rhombus.
No. Wyatt?
Trapezoid.
Trapezoid, yes. Trapezoid, so its left and right side are the same, but the top and bottom are not. Does that make sense? Okay, so a trapezoid has the same length for only two sides. Do any of these figures have no parallel sides? Willow, what do you think? Huh?
No.
No. They all have parallel sides, at least one pair. So we're going to write none. And we'll write none because all have parallel sides. At least one pair. Which of these figures have two obtuse angles? Richard, give me one of them.
Trapezoid.
Trapezoid has two obtuse angles. That's correct. Okay. Brayden, give me another one that has two obtuse angles. Rhombus. And Armani, give me one more figure that has two obtuse angles.
D.
D, yes, parallelogram, good. So put yourself a tally mark, there you go. Okay. Now it says choose one sentence to complete based on your work. These are short, we're gonna complete them all. I noticed some quadrilaterals have what? What do only some of these guys have? Raise your hand, please. Willow.
No right angles.
Did you say no right angles? So you're right. Some quadrilaterals have no right angles. Some quadrilaterals have right angles, right? So let's just, for simplicity's sake, we're going to say, I noticed some quadrilaterals have right angles. I'm going to give you that point, Willow. I just trying to simplify the wording a little bit. I noticed some quadrilaterals have right angles. I noticed that all quadrilaterals, every single one of these figures, what do they have in common? Kerrigan?
Four sides.
Four sides. And I noticed that all quadrilaterals have four sides and four angles. That's what all of them have in common. Write that down. And then on C it says, I noticed that no quadrilaterals have what? Brayden?
5 sides.
Yeah, because that goes against the definition of the quadrilateral. So you can put that, or have more than 4 sides. Anything else? I noticed that no quadrilaterals. Remington?
No parallel sides.
Yeah. So it's a little tricky to write. I noticed that no quadrilaterals have no parallel sides. So have no parallel sides. In other words, they all have at least one pair of parallel sides. Okay. Next page. This says if you have time, do you think it's possible for a quadrilateral to have more than 2 acute angles? I want you to think about that for a second. Okay, so could a quadrilateral have more than 2 acute angles? What do you think? Josiah, what do you think? That's initially what I said too. Does anybody have an idea of, so if you think yes, I want you to try to draw what a quadrilateral with more than 2 acute angles would look like. Did you draw one?
Yeah.
Okay, draw it a little bigger right here so I can see how you're doing turn. Can you do one? Put yourself down for a point. This one, this is one that another, or a student in another class drew that is similar to what Richard just drew. So is that a four-sided figure?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Does it have three or more acute angles?
Yes.
Yes. Pretty crazy. Could you draw a figure that has more than 2 obtuse angles?
Yes.
No.
You can. And that's it's pretty crazy because so this is what it would have to look like. So it's got a long V shape and then it goes up. And it's not, I didn't do a very good job of it, but this is one obtuse angle. This is an obtuse angle. So like a kite, like this is really, this one kind of looks acute to me, but in their drawing, I think I just didn't make it wide enough, maybe. What? I was thinking the same thing. It was because with a triangle you can't do a triangle with more than right angle or more than obtuse angle. So now what about exactly 3 right angles? Is that possible?
No.
Yes.
No. No, it is not, because if you're trying to make exactly 3, so 4-sided figure with exactly 3 right angles. So that means you would have a right angle here, here, and here, and you have to have a 4th if you have.
Oh, and it can't curve either.
Right, and I just didn't do a good job.
You can do it if it can curve. but it
Right.
can't curve.
Exactly. Okay. All right. So, the next page, they're giving us some pictures of some quadrilaterals. So these 2 are squares. These 3 are rectangles. So this is squares. These are rectangles. These are rhombuses, and these are parallelograms. So it wants us to now write 4 to 5 statements about the sides and angles of the quadrilateral in each set. Each statement must be true for all the shapes in this set. So, what do you notice about all of the squares? Brantley?
They all have the same right angles.
They do. They all have right angles. I'm going to make that be the second bullet point I write. So, all angles are right angles in a square. You guys need to write all of this down and write it neatly and write it small, because you're going to have to write 4 to 5 things. That's one thing. Remington.
All the sides have to be equal.
Yes, the side lengths have to be equal. So all 4 sides are equal length. I didn't really give myself enough room, but so all 4 sides have to be the same length. All angles are right angles. I'm going to make this a little bit neater. Okay. are equal length. All four angles are right angles. Okay, what's something else about these figures? Kerrigan?
There are 4 angles in it.
What's that called?
Right angles.
No, we've already got that. Not that one. Brayden?
There are 2 parallel sides in a square.
2 pairs of parallel sides. You're right. The top and bottom are parallel and the left and right. So we need one more thing. So write down 2 pairs of parallel sides. Okay, and the last thing, this figure is a quadrilateral. So it is a quad, and that's spelled Quadrilateral. Okay, it is a quadrilateral. Okay, so let's look at the rectangle. The rectangles that they gave us are right there. Okay, so what do you notice about all those rectangles? Elijah?
2 of them are right angles, but 1 isn't.
So, which one is not?
That one.
Nope, those are all right angles. It's just turned sideways. So, let's talk about the side length first. Bless you. Let's talk about the side length first. What do you notice about the side lengths of the rectangle? What has to be the same? You guys have learned this when you first started learning about shapes. What do you know about a rectangle? Armani.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Richard.
The 2 of the side lengths are equal to each other, and 2 of them are equal. So, like, the ones on this side are equal.
The top and bottom are equal length, and the sides.
are equal.
Yes. So that means it has 2 pairs of equal length sides, right? Yes. Okay. So write down 2 pairs of equal length sides. Okay. What do we notice about the angles, Lila?
It has 4 sides and 4 corners.
That's not what I asked you. What do you notice about these angles? What kind of angles are all of those? Armani, help her out.
All of the things up there.
We're talking about rectangles. All of these. What kind of angles are all of those?
They're all ones that go up.
What are they called?
I forgot what they were called. It's
Brantley.
like-
They're all right angles. Okay? Rectangles are all made from right angles. Okay, so all 4 angles are right angles. Okay, what else, Paisley?
All 4 sides are parallel. Like they go.
They're not all 4. It's got 2 pairs of parallel sides. When you say all 4 sides are parallel, that would suggest you've got 4 parallel lines. Okay? But if you say the top and bottom are parallel, the left and right are parallel. That works. Does that make sense? So it's just exactly what we wrote right here. 2 pairs of parallel sides. kind of like a pair of shoes. You have two pairs. There's two that go together. Two pairs of parallel sides. All right, and what's the last thing that we're gonna write down about a rectangle, Raiden? Kerrigan.
Or a square. The rectangle is a square.
It says to write something that describes all of these figures. So, Brantley,
I know it.
what?
There are 4 sides.
What's that called? What's a figure called with 4 sides?
Quadrilateral.
Do you see? We wrote it right here. It is a quadrilateral, okay? It is a quadrilateral. Okay, it's a quadrilateral. Do you guys see what I'm doing? I'm trying to keep them in the same category. So we started with sides. 4 sides are equal, 2 pairs are equal. All 4 angles are right angles, all 4 angles are right angles. Parallel sides, quadrilateral, quadrilateral, okay? All right, so rhombus. What do we know about the side lengths of a rhombus? Lily?
2 sides are.
Nope. Josiah?
Every side has the equal length.
Yes, all on a rhombus, it's like a square. All 4 sides are the same length, okay? On a rhombus, all 4 sides are equal length. Okay, what do we know about if we look back at the rhombuses that they gave us? These are the rhombuses they gave us. This one, this one, this one. Is there any consistency in the angles on those? So what kind of angles are these?
Right.
Right angles? What kind of angles are these?
Obtuse.
Obtuse and
And
acute,
acute.
right? So we're not going to make a comment on the angles because with a rhombus, you could have 4 right angles or you could have 2 acute and 2 obtuse. So we're not going to make a requirement for the angles.
Yes.
So- Huh?
I was gonna say anything on that.
We're still going. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So we're not gonna talk about the angles because the definition of a rhombus doesn't specify a certain type of angle. What it specifies is that the 4 sides are equal length and one other thing. Remington?
It has 2 pairs of parallel sides.
Yes. A rhombus has to have 2 pairs of parallel sides. And like the others, a rhombus, it is a quadrilateral. Okay. Last one, parallelogram. Parallelogram. Lily.
Has,
Okay, Brantley.
there's 2 pairs of parallel sides.
Yeah, but let's talk about side lengths first. Josiah,
Which one are we on?
parallelogram.
2 of the sides are longer than the other 2.
So that's not a requirement because in the parallelogram, do you see a square? And so over here on your parallelogram picture right here, Okay, so what, see how those are the same length? And those are the same length. So it's gotta have two pairs of sides that are equal length. Step down. Two pairs of equal length sides. And what do we know about, and then Brantley said it a minute ago, two pairs of parallel sides. And the last thing we're gonna write down, it's a quadrilateral. It is a quadrilateral. Okay. All right, so that is where we are going to, I'm going to stop the video because I've got a practice page for you to do that I'm going to hand out.
Okay.
And the last page, let me look at something really quick. Is an activity. So we're gonna actually skip page 102.
Okay.